This is going to be.
Go Big Blue! Go Big Blue! Go Big Blue! Go Giants! Go Big Blue! New York Giants!
God, it's great to be a Cowboy, isn't it? This is how we do stuff. This is the Cowboy. We're trying to do something. Be a leader. It's time to lead the football team. It's time. It's your time.
It's our time right now. 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 It's our time right now.
He was a Giant, and he was a Cowboy. Now these two former rivals have joined forces to bring you the most insightful, perceptive, and controversial sports talk podcast in America. Former Dallas Cowboys defensive end Jim Jeffcoat locks horns with former New York Giants wide receiver Byron Williams. And now, here's Byron Williams and Jim Jeffcoat.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
What's going on, Jim?
It's hump day. Hump day.
In the middle of the week. That's every Wednesday. They say hump day is ready.
Yes, it is. And we got a lot to talk about.
Well, it's been a great day for sports.
Yeah. Like I said in my post, free agency is not free.
It's not.
It is.
You got to pay.
I think I could go a little bit more. I could at least get a couple sacks for somebody.
I know you in 100+ club, so you know you can get some sacks.
I'll get me some sacks.
Hey, do you still dream about getting those sacks in your dreams?
Oh man, I wake up sweating sometimes.
I bet you do.
I see visions of Phil Simms and Joe Theismann in my dreams.
Not Phil Simms. Not Phil Simms. I hope you don't be thinking about Phil Simms.
Yeah, I do. Because he threw me 2 touchdown passes.
Yeah, I remember one of those long touchdown plays that you made. Boy, I said that Jim looked like a tight end on that one.
Easy. I look like a receiver, a fast receiver.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, let's get on to what's going on. A lot of stuff. Let's start with Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. Yeah, man. Watson, he's making all kind of news. He's going from team to team to like he's having some visits here and there. He went up to Cleveland today, up to the Browns, and things in that organization kind of got a little sticky up there.
Yeah, it did in Cleveland, and I always talked about how I didn't think Baker Mayfield. Here's my problem.
Okay.
Because they talk about Lincoln Riley being this quarterback guru. Well, he got all these kids as transfers, and he's never developed a quarterback.
Right.
And at USC, I think they got a guy that's gave them the impression that he was a great quarterback coach. Well, we're going to see now.
Yeah.
Because he's not got a transfer there.
Right.
I think he was overrated in that point.
Right.
I mean, because you look at all the guys he got, they were Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, and Baker Mayfield, who was the first. They were all transfers. He did not develop those guys.
Yeah.
And they came from systems similar, other than Jalen Hurts. They came from systems similar to what Oklahoma ran.
Absolutely. Very talented quarterbacks that, still got a question mark in the NFL and knowing that they can take their team to the playoffs and to the Super Bowl. That's right now. That's kind of where we are to see what these guys can do. And man, it just, Cleveland it's a hard place to play. And they definitely waiting for somebody to take them to the promised land, which is the Super Bowl. And man, I know Baker Mayfield right now is not feeling too good. I know he had a post and sent out to the fans and saying they appreciate their support and the love for their family. But man, it's all about, at the end of the day, it's all about what have you done for me lately. It's about trying to get their team to the playoff and then to the Super Bowl. So
yeah, and regardless if they get Deshaun Watson or not, they've already said, basically the comment came out is that they want an adult running the Cleveland Browns. They're basically saying that Baker Mayfield was a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
He wasn't good enough to do that, and he's in his option year.
And I think too, a lot of people don't realize this, but sometime in the locker room and your relationship with the other players on the team, it weighs heavily on what these teams want to do and how it fits the morale of the team and what we need to do to go forward. So it might be time for them to look elsewhere, and maybe they got him on the trading blocks too. They might have talked to him.
That's what they said. They're going to try to trade him.
Yeah.
Regardless, like I said, if Watson comes or not, they don't want him to be the face of the organization, which is kind of interesting. He must have but you mentioned this before. He obviously the deal with Odell Beckham, they said he wouldn't throw to him. Yep. And now Jarvis Landry got released, and one of their tight ends, Austin Hooper, and he got released too. There's something going on behind the scenes with this guy, and it's going to be interesting to see how this progresses because only one person is going to get Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to take their headache?
I think the Saints. I know they talking about Atlanta. They talking about the Panthers. And it's Deshaun still got some baggage. Still got some things that he got to overcome. He got these civil lawsuits out there as well. So it's going to be interesting. Who want to take that bitter pill and see if they can swallow it.
Yeah, I think Deshaun's going to the Saints myself. I don't think he'll go to the Panthers. Atlanta was an interesting one because they obviously redid Matt Ryan's contract.
Yeah.
And then Cleveland was another interesting one. We just talked about that. But I think he's going to end up in New Orleans. And the civil suit is different from a grand jury.
Right.
As long as it's not in the court. And he can win that. Actually, in a civil suit, the Brown family won against O.J. Simpson. That's just the way a civil suit is different,
right,
in a court or a grand jury. So we'll see what happens. But you do have a guy that was a franchise quarterback, and we're playing
well. I mean, he was on the roll. The things that he did out there on the football field speak for itself. But you this day you got to be a total player. You got to be able to be a leader on the field and as well as off the field. And if he put, hopefully he can turn it around and get back on the right page.
Yeah. Hopefully he can, and hopefully he's learned.
Yeah.
Just like you said,
missing the whole season, you should learn something.
Yeah, you should learn something. And you've talked about this before. Players these days have to be very careful because of all the media, all the things, the cell phones and cameras. I mean, you could be a prime example was I was reading an article about two players. I can't remember what team they were, but they were in LA in a strip club.
Yeah.
And they got robbed. The valet set them up to get robbed in the club.
Right.
And I mean, things like that. I mean, that's just the way our reality of our world now. You always got to be looking out. And they put them in a VIP section. They had guards there, and they still got robbed.
Yeah.
They got set up.
And when people Google your name, and next thing you know, instant this come up with how much money you make and so forth. Right. Man, you had to take fingertip of people just wanting today. I got to be able to meet this guy, try to rob this guy, and it's crazy out there. You got to be very careful.
Everything you do.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what we're going to talk about is free agency.
Yeah.
Free agency, and we'll start with the AFC East. Miami Dolphins made a lot of moves this week. Teddy Bridgewater, they got him for 1 year for $10.5 million.
That's not bad. We talked about Teddy last week. We talked about him, and injuries that he had in the past, and just finding the right team. We thought he was on a good run this past year in Denver. He started off really well, and they were really in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, and I think that was a good move for Miami because from all things that we see, I think Bridgewater is a good team guy.
Yeah.
Plus, he is from Miami. He is from Miami, and he goes home. But I think he can. He has enough personality to help Tua. So
I think Tua need this would be a good somebody to help mentor him and guide him. But I'll still take Tua. I just think that Tua got a lot of upsides. I mean, the potential that he have. I think by him being able to work in OTAs leading up to the season start with his time of the receivers, I just think I would still have to go with Tua. Teddy would be the backup guy and be there to support the change in direction that we make.
I have to agree with you. I would think that right now you have to develop Tua because he's still young. And we know what Teddy Bridgewater is.
Yeah.
He's a change of pace guy, but he's not a guy that's going to take you to the promised land. I mean, since that significant injury in Minnesota, he hasn't ever been the same. So you have to see what you have in Tua and adjust from there.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
We also got Cedric Wilson, who I think was a great pick for him. I don't think he's the number one receiver. But
we know who the number one receiver is.
Yeah.
You want me to do that wrong?
But I think he'd be a good number two.
Yeah.
And also he can do things to help you. He can throw the ball. He can use him a lot like you use Deebo Sanders.
Absolutely. He good on reverses, inside slot receiver, outside, run real precise, crisp routes, and don't drop the ball that often. He's very consistent.
Yeah. I think the Miami's made some good moves. They kept some key parts for him, and I think Miami did a nice job. They got better. They got better in free agency, and they didn't overspend, which is interesting. They didn't go crazy in free agency. A lot of teams overspend, and they don't get what they're looking for in free agency. They did their homework.
And it's going to be interesting in the AFC East over there. With the Patriots and the Dolphins. And of course the Bills. I mean, man, the Jets, I just feel sorry for them. But man, the Patriots and the Bills, man, the Bills right now, I believe they trying to win.
Oh yeah, and you can talk about it. They just got Von Miller, and they did the right things. They did the things where Von Miller is 32 years old. He's in his prime as a pass rusher,
right?
And he'll help him. He's got 115 sacks. So we know he can help them. And Buffalo is a special town. I've had the opportunity to play there, and those fans love the Bills. I mean, they live for them. So it's going to be a good situation. He's going to love being in Buffalo on Sundays and hear that fan base because
it's really the only thing in Buffalo. The Bills. That's all they talk about.
Yeah. Well, they got the Sabres for what you.
They got the who?
Buffalo Sabres.
Who? You gotta say the Bills.
But it's a great place to play.
Yeah.
Players love playing there because they know how the fans are.
Is there a mafia up there? Is it something like that? Yeah, mafia.
Bills Mafia. And that's a long story because that's when you had the five families in New York. Actually, they sent people up there to Buffalo because of you're so close to the Canadian border, but that's another story.
But you know what? That's what I love about this show. You learn the inside from the insider.
Yeah. Yeah. But talk about a little bit about the East. The Patriots made some moves. They kept Devin McCourty, but they let J.C. Jackson go to San Diego.
Yeah,
the Patriots lost offensive lineman, I think, too, and a couple other people. But
David McCarty, he was elected last week be on the executive committee as well. So hats off to him. He having a great year. He's gonna be good and helping make decisions in the players decision making on the collective bargaining and the benefit side. So that's a good move for him. He's a very intelligent young man. He's a twin. And
his brother played for the Patriots too, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So congratulations to him signing his 1-year deal as well.
Yeah, well, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
And now let's move on to the North, where the Ravens, they got this is interesting what they did. They got Marcus Williams.
Yeah, Marcus, the safety.
Yeah, for safety for 5 years, $70 million. A lot of those contracts, people see them, but they don't never, for the most time, never play out those contracts.
No, it'd be some
3-year
remaining right. It'd be some remaining money left on those contracts.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then they got the pass rusher from Green Bay, Zakavian, who was a Raven before.
So he's going back home.
Yeah. He was there before, so they got him. And it's going to be interesting to see how Baltimore does because they still got an issue. They still got with Lamar Jackson. What are they going to do with him? Like we've said before, are they going to re-sign him?
Yeah.
Or are they going to look at it because we've both mentioned quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson don't have long careers.
Yeah, not when he run the ball like he runs it.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting if he can start getting the ball out of his hand, being able to use the running back, tight ends, and receiver combination. That he definitely going to have a little bit more maturity about his approach.
Yeah, and he's going to have to stay healthy. I mean, obviously healthy, but
they're
going to have to look at their whole thing. They have to look at their trainers. They're going to have to look at how they train and obviously their strength coaches and see if there's anything they can do better because they had a significant amount of injuries.
And plus they lost the defense coordinator. He's going up to New York.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, they let him go. Remember? Wayne Martin, they let him go. So this, it will be interesting to see what happens in that situation.
Right.
On the again in the North, the Bengals, they got 2 offensive linemen. Alex and Ted Carroll combined 7 years, $53 million to protect. They knew they needed to protect.
They had to go in there and get that done right away.
Yeah. So,
and I'm pretty sure they're going to draft a lineman. Lineman. So they know they got to be able to protect Joe Burrow. So
yeah. So they got to do that because he's their franchise quarterback. The one thing you worry about in this situation, and I hate to bring it up from our era, is what happened to Miami Dolphins. And they did protect Dan Marino, but they went to the Super Bowl his second year and never win again.
Never win again. Exactly.
Never win again. So you don't want that to happen, obviously, to Joe Burrows.
You definitely don't want history to repeat itself in this instance.
Yeah. And because he is a talent, and you like to see him have the opportunity to play in another Super Bowl. And he's second year, so he's got 3 years under that first contract, and they can build it up and possibly do it now because of the way the salary cap works.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the thing. But
the salary cap going to be 208.5 next year.
Yeah.
Each team. So
that'll be good. That'll be good, and they're headed in the right direction. I think they made some good moves to help their team because last year they got a couple of defensive players that helped them, and this year they're going to get offensive linemen. So that's good.
You got to get that offensive line.
The shocker of it is,
what's the shocker?
Well, everybody was saying, and I disagreed with them. People on our shows that we do were saying that Mitchell Trubisky was going to the Giants.
Yeah, to the Giants.
It didn't make a lot of sense. It did make a lot of sense to me because Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback.
Yeah,
he will lose unless it's
his job. It's his job for sure.
His job to lose. Why would Trubisky go in there when there were other quarterback needy teams? So he goes to Pittsburgh, which is a good choice because I'd rather have Trubisky, honestly, than Mason Rudolph or even Dwayne Haskins. I would put Trubisky in the right system. He'll be fine. I think he took too much of the pressure or too much of the fault in Chicago, and we'll find out. But I thought that first year he was pretty darn good.
And I think this would be good for him with the coaching staff that they have in place with the Steelers. I think this would be a good fit for him. It's a whole new page. A new chapter he can start, and I think this will be good for him. I think the Steelers gonna be in that hunt of winning that division now.
Yeah, and Tomlin did want it, just like we said, a mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
They have Juju Smith, who is a free agent, and they have some receivers, but they don't have a lot of talent on there. I mean, Najee Harris they took last year as the running back, and
Right.
Chase, I can't remember his last name.
Chase, the receiver, the Chase Claypool.
They're going to need some more receivers, but this is a good draft to find receivers. So
absolutely, they can still enhance those the wide receiver position as well with this draft.
Oh, no question.
It's a boatload of talent coming out.
Oh, there is. There really is. You're going to see good receivers go into the 4th and 5th round.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's that deep.
That'll play on Sunday.
Yeah,
there is a boatload of receivers, and then we got we talked about the Browns with about Baker Mayfield possibly. Well, not possibly. He's probably going to leave the Browns, and like I said,
it's the writing's on the wall. I just think now they got to find a fit for him and what they can push him to that envelope to where it said open, come on in, and seeing if they can make that happen.
But here's the thing is they just got Amari Cooper. And here's the thing that interested me about it. The Cowboys said that he didn't fit what they were trying to accomplish. And I thought that was interesting because I've always thought he was if you look at his stats, he was one of the top 7 receivers the last 3 years.
Right.
When you look at his efficiency catching the ball, he was the top 3. And now he doesn't fit your scheme. I am worried about, this is my honest truth, I'm worried about the Cowboys. They're too worried about schemes and trying to help these players become better. I mean, and that was the argument, but Amari Cooper, I think that was but now who's going to throw to him? Who's going to throw it? Is it Case Keenum? Is Case Keenum going to be the quarterback, or are they going to go get him?
They got to find a quarterback. They definitely have to find a quarterback.
I mean, like I said earlier in the show, I think Deshaun Watson is going to New Orleans.
I think so. I think that's
they're going to get his quarterback. They're going to take one of these young quarterbacks, and they're going to be in the same situation they've been in for the last 10 years. Take a quarterback, stay with him for 2 or 3 years, and then throw him on the heap and just ruin them.
They might make something drastic happen between now and Friday. So we'll see. This week is just in the middle of the week. But my take on Amari Cooper, he this year he just don't seem to be hungry. I think he just need to maybe just think about being hungry and then just go out there and play ball because he definitely one of the best receivers in the league, no doubt. He don't make mistakes. He don't drop balls.
No.
He have a hamstring here or there, but his leadership a little bit sometimes. Sometimes somebody needs just say, hey, man, get excited. And I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, and I just can't understand why they let Jarvis Landry go, because that would have been a great combination, these two.
Absolutely.
And, and I mean, Rashad Higgins, too, he left. Rashad Higgins left. And I mean, they don't have guys. And it does, but some guys are like that. His attitude seems like, but I think that's just his personality.
That's his personality, yeah. No doubt.
If it's interesting, he played with Bridgewater in high school, and Bridgewater's kind of attitude is the same way.
Same way, yeah. They don't get excited about a whole lot.
Yeah, and that might have been how they were coached.
Yeah,
but I mean, the guy's talented, and I wish him the best because I thought
great talent. No.
But this is his 3rd team, the Raiders. He wore out his welcome there. He wore out his welcome in Dallas, and now in Cleveland.
But you know what? This is what these players got to understand. When you have some other players opposite side of you, and they have to double team you all the time, that ain't what you want. So now he gonna be the best. If he's the best receiver on that team, it ain't gonna get no better for him because they can always double team him.
That's true.
Like CeeDee Lamb and Gallup and all those other guys, man, it was hard to create a matchup, a double team. You got to pick and choose every now and then how you want to double these receivers.
Exactly.
So that's another thing that I would have had to look at. I would like, man, I might need to stay here for one more year just to see what can happen.
Yeah, but he had no choice in the
Yeah. Yeah, he had no choice. I understand that.
He had no choice.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see how he performs at the Browns. Let's go out west because a lot of things happen. Hey.
The Wild Wild West.
In the West, it is wild.
The Wild Wild West.
Denver, Russell Wilson. Does he got any more juice left?
Man, Russell Wilson got some juice.
Okay.
He got some juice. I just think he hurt his thumb last year, and things just went sour. But Russell Wilson is a player, man. He gonna play hard. I believe he gonna bring a whole new attitude. I saw his interview today. He had on his orange tie. I mean, he's ready. He's suited up and ready. He suited up, booted, and ready to go.
He's got some receivers there. He's got some receivers now.
Absolutely.
He got some receivers and lost the tight end. The tight end went to Denver and they're gonna have to find a quarterback to back him up because Drew.
They'll probably get a quarterback to back him up. I'm pretty sure.
But like you said, with the thumb injury, that did affect him.
Yeah,
and he will bring some energy. Can they protect him? Because that was his big argument in
Seattle.
Yeah, that can they protect him in the running game? Can their running game be good enough to offset so he doesn't have to see? And that's big. That's big. When you got a running game, they can't gang up on you in the passing. So that'll be good for him, and we'll see. And then on defense, they bring in Randy Gregory, and that was it was interesting. Here's the thing.
What?
Is that Randy Gregory argument was in everybody's contract is the same thing. Basically, if you get suspended, which Randy Gregory's never played a whole season.
Right, it's not 16, nor 17 season games.
Yeah, and he's for 5 years, and they had a clause in there they put in it. If he gets suspended, he doesn't get paid. Well, that clause is in everybody's contract except one person, Dak Prescott. DeMarcus Lawrence has it in his. Michael Gallup has it in his, which I don't have a problem with.
Right,
because if you're suspended, you shouldn't be paid. You shouldn't be paid.
That's why you need to stay focused. You got to stay focused. It's a short career. I don't care how you look at it.
Exactly. And just like you said, he's had issues. He's been suspended 4 times.
Oh, well, he said a couple of years ago that he liked smoking marijuana.
Yeah. And the agent complained about that. But, I mean, just look at what happened. You got to look at reality.
Yeah.
And now Denver's taking a chance. Because if they take a kid like this, and we talk about it, he hasn't played a full season. He had 6.5 sacks. They still were eliminated in the first round.
Yeah.
They were eliminated. And he wasn't the only issue, but, I mean, he didn't help them get their game.
Right.
So he didn't help them get better. And I hope he has a great career in Denver. But you have to look at the reality of it. That wasn't anything. They gave him the same contract. They just wanted to get out of that because maybe they were afraid that there's another suspension coming. I hope not, but
I hope not either. I hope not, but yeah, he went on and took his chances with Denver, and
yeah.
But you know, if I had a choice to live here in Dallas or live in Denver, I'm being here in Dallas. It's just so much.
You say that, but there's some beautiful spots in Colorado.
I'm joking with you.
There's some beautiful spots.
At the end of the day, it's all about getting that guaranteed money, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing is because you see all these guys signing these huge contracts, but how much guaranteed money are they getting in those contracts? Because that's the most important. You can see them like Von Miller. He signs $120 million.
6 year, 120. Yeah.
But he's not getting that. We all know that. I mean, you see these things all the time, and you just have to look at the reality of it. And I hope
a lot of people don't understand. It's based on some of that stuff. Money is performance based.
Yes.
And then when you look at the offseason part, you got the OTAs. A lot of guys get paid $1 million just to participate in OTAs.
Yeah.
So some of that money is looped into performance and what they do in the offseason.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So that's the thing. And you can't fault the kid. I don't fault him for going to Denver.
Yeah.
I wish he would have stayed in Dallas, but he chose to go to Denver. Good luck to him. And I hope it works out for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The Raiders. First, they signed Max Crosby back, who had a tremendous year.
Max is bad boy. And I tell you what, they got Chandler.
Yeah.
Jones
just there.
He
got basically the same contract.
He almost had 100. He got 108 sacks in 2012?
Yeah.
Chandler he's been working. He's been busy. Yeah. Arizona gonna really miss him. But I'm telling you, man, the Raiders gonna bring some heat.
Yeah. You want to hear something interesting about Chandler Jones? You know who his brother is.
No, who is it?
His brother is the best MMA fighter in the world.
I didn't know that.
He's the one who got in all that trouble.
Okay.
He's the one who got in trouble in Vegas, of all places.
Wow.
But he's like one of the best MMA fighters in the world. I mean, he never lost. He didn't lose. He always got suspended.
Okay.
But he was there. And then his other brother was a fullback for the Baltimore Ravens.
Boy, I could imagine growing up in their household, man.
Yeah, see, I thought he was the one who was going to Buffalo because he's from Rochester, New York.
Okay.
And that's where the Bills train at now, is in Rochester. But it's a talented family.
Wow.
And Chandler, like you said, they are just freakish athletes, all of them. And,
well, he 100 is almost 108 sacks in 2012. I think I saw.
Yeah,
man, he's been busy.
Yeah, he's a really good player. I think that's going to help with him and Max Crosby in there.
Yeah, Max, yeah.
Yeah, and then they can figure out what they're going to do with David Carr, which is interesting because we talk about free agency. I thought Marcus Mariota would have had an opportunity to go somewhere too.
Yeah.
He's a free agent.
They were saying Derek Carr, his situation, he didn't play real bad this past year.
No.
Yeah, so.
No.
Maybe, I sometimes, for me, quarterbacks have to be in the right offenses, meaning that they set up these different packages with the receivers / wide receivers / tight end / running back, with the options of giving these receivers options of running their routes based off of what the defense is giving them. Yeah. So I'm thinking if they can make a little bit of more change in that philosophy on offense and mix a little bit more of that chemistry in there, I think Derek Carr will be okay.
Yeah, I think he will be too.
They look really good at the end of the season. He did. Yeah. So
I'm still mad at him for that junkie bull on the Cowboys.
Well, they got a new coach with Josh.
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, we'll see if Josh. This is his second go around being a head coach, so we'll see. Yeah,
we'll see if he grew up. But
now, one of the things people, they got these fields that they on these trades and they slide these fields.
Yeah, Arizona
and the Raiders both got these fields like that. The field and with the Raiders is like that too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they can bring the whole field in. Yeah.
Which team gets the best grade so far in free agency moves?
The B, Buffalo Bills.
You think so?
That's what I'm thinking.
Interesting, because I would say right now Jacksonville made some good moves.
Jacksonville, yeah.
I thought they made some good moves. They made some pluses, but they also made some minuses.
Well, we just talked about. I think the Raiders for defense now they improved out.
Yeah, I agree. And Buffalo with Von Miller makes a great move and getting some other parts to it. They lost J.D. McKissick. He committed to him, and then he went back to Washington.
To Washington. I saw that he signed a 2-year deal for $7 million, and so they matched that offer, and he went back to the Commandos.
Exactly. The Commodores. So he's a pretty catch.
Now the interesting thing about the Commodores, we're gonna talk about this later, is Carson Wentz, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that because we got a lot to. That's gonna take us the rest of the show.
I know it.
About that.
We didn't say too much about the Chargers, but the Chargers made a move. The
Khalil
Chargers
Mack.
making a move now. I'm looking at this Charger. If they can stay healthy,
yes,
they gonna blow some doors off.
Yeah, they are. Boy, that AFC West just became even harder. It was a good division, but now it's coming a really good division.
Boy, that Joseph Bosa and Matt, they're gonna be coming like that.
You block. Here's the thing that you always think about in being a pass rusher. I know this.
Mm-hmm.
You never want to be a pass rusher by yourself. You want to have another pass rusher opposite of you, because just like you said with receivers,
right?
Same thing with pass rushers. They got to figure out who they're going to double team. And that's what actually happened in the Super Bowls against Buffalo. If they double team Charles, they can't double team me, and it's vice versa.
That's what I'm doing. I'm shaking my head because you're talking about being on the road now.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about bringing some heat.
That's right. That's right. Now, I always thought this, though, is you got to have interior presence. And that's why the Rams were so good, is because you got to have somebody get pushed. So these quarterbacks can't step up, because if they can step up, the Brady's, the Mahomes, they can destroy you.
They will.
And they will. So that's the thing. You got to take that away from them. And make
what sticks in the back of my mind all year with the Rams was that last play at the Super Bowl.
When he lined up off sides.
Yeah. He lined up off sides, but he got it down.
Yeah, he did.
And made the play.
Yeah, because if you have an interior rusher, then it's harder for them because they can't turn the protection.
Yeah.
And if they turn the protection, that's going to give somebody a free rush. And by that, I mean, if they're doubling inside, that's why the Cowboys were so good with a guy with Bob Lilly and Randy White with those interior guys. I mean,
and think about this though, Jeff. What I love, they moved their personnel around.
They did.
They create mismatches.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting, but you're right. The AFC West is going to be really good. And I'm
gonna predict this right now. Early 2022, the Super Bowl champion gonna come from the AFC side.
Wow. You think so, huh?
That's my prediction.
Wow. That's a strong position.
So you better study the AFC side this year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you.
Well, I don't know, because we're going to the NFC. I don't know about that, because there's some pretty good teams in the NFC.
I ain't saying that. I'm just telling you what they did this week in the free agent market. This hump day.
Ooh.
I'm
not going there.
Hey, I'm making a bold prediction. AFC, a team gonna win. I'm gonna be studying the AFC this year. I'm telling you that.
All right. Let's go over the NFC now.
Go ahead. Go on over there. Go ahead. What you got?
The guy from Green Bay, he got what he wanted. He got his contract.
Yeah.
Now, but they got a problem.
What?
Davante Adams said he is not playing on a franchise tag.
Davante said that?
Yep.
Man.
He said, yeah. And he said, I forgot who it was. Somebody was making 22.5. It might have been DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh, yeah. DeAndre.
They offered him $23 million. And he said, no, I'm not doing that. Because the total contract, and they're going to release DeAndre Hopkins, was $27.5 million.
Okay.
And then Davante said, unless he gets more than that, he ain't playing. And that would be he want
to be the highest paid receiver.
Yeah. And honestly, what he did the last couple of years, he might need to be. He's good.
He showed out.
Yeah.
His performance speaks for itself.
Yeah. And you talk about how you adjust to what the defense is doing. They adjusted Davante Adams to what the defense. They never let him stay in one position. Yeah. They attack defenses.
What I love about the way they use him, they move him all around the field.
Yeah.
They create. You can't double him when they're so unpredictable. And what I like about it, they'll move him. They'll put him in motion.
Yeah, and that quarterback from the Packers, has a good feel for the game. I'm not going to say his name because I'm tired of hearing his name.
Aaron Rodgers, the number 12.
They got a couple of guys on defense. They got Devontae Campbell and Preston Smith, and they got them, and they took
pretty
care
good linebackers. They pretty good linebackers.
Yeah, they did it, and they got some, but they still got a long way to go, and you can't have that much on your quarterback. Now, this is a problem you run into with Devontae Adams because how are you going to pay everybody else?
Yeah,
you're going to skimp at a position, and hopefully it's not that position. They got to figure out this thing.
I'm going to say this. If they can't sign Devontae Adams, they're going to take away about 30-40% of your offense.
No question.
For his production. I mean, mass production.
And the question out there, I mean, is Jordan Love going to sit for another 4 years? That's another question.
Well, John, as of right now, he's not what they thought he was going to be.
Yeah, but he only played one game.
Yeah, but maybe
played in one game.
Yeah, he's still young. Maybe he needs to.
I don't think that's fair for him.
Yeah,
but they're still the team to beat in the NFC North.
But one of the things that I know for sure that these coaches and the general managers kind of got a feel for what these players bring because they got the OTAs, they got practice, and they critiquing these players all the time. So maybe they still feel good about it.
And then the next thing we talk about is the Minnesota Vikings.
Kirk
Cousins an extension. Have they lost their mind? You got a quarterback that is 59-59-2. Does not have a winning record. And you give this guy a $35.5 million extension. I mean, to me, you're not making the right move. Kirk Cousins is a coach killer. I'm just telling you. I'm being honest. I mean,
well, I think they stuck with him. I just think if they stuck with him, they just got to try to make it work. I mean, you got
$35.5 million.
But I'm just saying they got to make it work. They in a bad situation. But they so deep down the road, so far down the road, they can't go back.
I'm
thinking, huh?
Yeah, and I've asked this question.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. It's guaranteed.
To me, the object in professional football is to win championships. I mean, or compete for championships. And that's what always bothered me about everybody talking, and even that to this point, Tony Romo, they didn't win any champions. They won very few. And Kirk Cousins and that have won just as many playoff games. Your object is to win. Your object is to win championships. Can you win them with these guys? You can make every excuse in the book, but these guys do not win championships, Jason. Kirk Cousins is a coach killer.
Well, he said that's the going price for quarterbacks too, but I just think the going price for quarterback need to be 30, not 35.
But isn't isn't the object to win championships?
Absolutely. If you didn't make the playoff last year, you need everybody.
Give a coach 35.5. Give a quarterback $35.5 billion, and he can't even make the playoffs. He got to shoot. You know how Bruce Smith in his front yard for Halloween had all the quarterbacks.
He said he agreed with you. Jason, you learn a little bit of football knowledge now. You listen to JJ over there.
Yeah, but Bruce Smith had the tombstones of all the quarterbacks. With next Halloween, Kirk Cousins is gonna have all the tombstones of the quarterbacks he done got fired.
Don't be talking about my birthday like that. Don't be putting Kirk Cousins on my birthday.
I'm sorry.
We want to go trick or treating this year.
You got tricked, not treat.
So far he's been a trick. So far.
Yeah. And I don't know him personally, but I just think that it's all about him. And that's what bothers me especially at that position. It can't be, and that's what's happening with Baker Mayfield. It's all about him. It's not about team. Kyler Murray, your guy, it's got to be about the team because that is such And
Well, you need to learn. If you don't learn that real quick in the first 5 years, you playing and you not playing with that perspective, you ain't gonna be successful in this league.
No,
you can't play selfish.
No, you're not. So we can move on from the NFC North. The Packers is still
Kirk Cousins, $35 million.
Yeah, but
what about the NFC South?
Ooh, he's back. He's back.
TB got the hit. TB is back.
Yeah.
So what did you say about Tom Brady and his wife? What happened to Tom Brady?
Well, Tom was at home.
Okay.
And the first day he was at home, his wife says, Tom,
he
you got to take the trash out.
I can just see him waking up like this. He thought he was going to sleep in an extra hour.
The trash out? I ain't took it out in years. Well, you got to do it. You ain't got nothing else to do now. He's like, okay. So he think, man, I'm going to lay in the bed. I'm going to sleep until about 9, 10 o'clock. And maybe I get up 7:30 in the morning. Well, it was 7.
Well, hey, don't forget this. He didn't set his clock up an hour either.
That's right. Tom. Yes, Giselle. You got to take the kids to school. What? Yeah. You ain't got nothing else to do. You can come on and go back to bed. I did it all the time. Tom like, oh, shoot. Bruce, you still got a position for me? I'm coming back. I'm going back. I want to play. Shoot. Gronk, get your gear on again. We back.
Hey. Oh, man, that's funny. He's back.
Yeah, he's back.
And let me tell you something. He back with revenge. What did you say earlier? Whenever Tom come back, what happened?
He wins Super Bowls.
So I'm gonna have to
do you realize that he's been in the league 23 years old? If he had a kid the first year he was in the league, he'd be playing with him probably.
Yeah, kind of like LeBron James. Hell, he gonna be hey, whatever his son go ahead, he gonna play with his son.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a good idea, but that's another story.
Well, football is a whole different animal. So
yeah.
But I'm thinking, oh man, should I put Tampa Bay in my Super Bowl prediction? I don't think I'm not gonna put them in.
I am.
You gonna put them in there?
Tom Brady, even at 45. And at some point, he is going to deteriorate.
I'm going to tell you this. They better put another rule in because these defensive linemen, they're coming off the edges now.
I agree, but I just think Tom Brady is a different animal.
Well, I tell you what, I need to see what the schedule going to look like.
Yeah.
If Tom Brady don't play some AFC teams, on that.
Well, they have to.
Yeah, I know, but they have to. But I'm just saying, if they play some of these teams, I see that enhancing their defensive side, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be some sacks. These guys gonna be coming at you.
Yeah. Now, let's go and move on to the Panthers. They finally got somebody, Xavier Woods, who played for the Cowboys last year.
Yeah,
they signed him.
Good player.
And he was a good player.
Yeah,
he was a good player. So they. That'll help them, but they still need help. They need help to figure out what they're going to do with Christian McCaffrey, which they got Deontay Foreman.
Yeah.
They signed him too. But they got to figure out what they're going to do with McCaffrey and with Sam Darnold too.
I'm still thinking that these college coaches, when they come to the league, it takes them a little while to get acclimated to start working these teams in a position where they can win some games. I don't know if the coaching staff is good enough to take this team to the next level on the Panther side.
Yeah, I can't argue with you. I thought he was a good college coach, but it's a different animal in the NFL.
It is.
In which I thought he'd do it, but right now, college coaches are struggling coming to the next level.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. The Saints, they got Marcus Mays, which is an interesting one because if you remember last year, the Jets franchised Marcus Mays, and he tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
And now he's coming back, and he went to the Saints. And that's the danger of being franchised. Some of the danger, but he was a good player before the injury.
A lot of time when they franchise a lot of these players, they do leave the team. They go elsewhere. So
yeah,
that's why I was saying with Devontae Adams, they franchise him. They don't think they'll sign him back because of the way the money is out there on the free agent market.
Yeah, and now let's move over to the NFC West.
Okay.
The Cardinals got Zach Ertz back, but I think the Cardinals are just like the Cowboys. I don't think they've gotten better. I really don't. I think they're a team that's kind of stuck in neutral. I think.
Yeah.
And they got what to do with Murray.
I think that their quarterback position they got to make sure that it's going in the right direction on decision making, being able to get the ball in the right people's hands and things like that. I mean, they at the end of the game they looked really bad last year. Like all the air went out. I mean, they had a great season start of the season, 11 games, win, blah blah blah. But man, they look like they couldn't even beat nobody at the end of the season.
Yeah, and to me, they're not. They didn't get better. And where could you say on defense? They didn't obviously losing Jones and Jordan Hicks on defense, and they're going to play. You're going to have to eventually play younger players.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. J.J. Watts won't be back, so they got to do something, and they might be in the same situation they were this year. They start off hot, and then as the season progresses and people catch up with them, they're going to start deteriorating as the season goes on.
And sound like they defensive side might be a little bit weaker than they had this past year.
Exactly.
So they're gonna be interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you saw the 49ers got the cornerback Tre'Davious Ward. Yeah. They gave him a pretty good deal for it. 3 years, 40.5.
Right.
So I think the 49ers, out of all the teams that we've talked about, they kind of kept that core together. And when you talked about an AFC West team, I think the 49ers is going to be a tough team
absolutely
last year. But I think they're going because they kept the majority of their group together.
Yeah, they kept the core.
Now it's going to be interesting what they do with Jimmy G.
Jimmy G that's going to be an interesting thing. If anybody out there, man, I would definitely try to get Jimmy G on my team.
Yeah. I would rather take him if I was the coach than Baker Mayfield.
I would rather take Jimmy G than
that's what I'm saying.
Than Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know what something.
I think it was a trade with Jimmy G. That
it had to be a trade. Yeah, because he's not a free agent. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I would take Jimmy G. So I thought that would be a good one, and he probably is going to be.
I thought it would have been good. I thought he would have been a good fit with the Washington Commandos.
I agree with you, but do you want to go to that train wreck?
No. I already got this in my head. I don't think I need to be in a wreck.
Speaking of that, we'll just go on to the East real quick.
The East.
Carson Wentz.
But you know what I like about Carson Wentz?
What?
He only threw 7 interceptions last year, 27 touchdowns. He had a real good interception / touchdown ratio. So he don't really make a lot of mistakes. I just think the air was let out of the whole team at the end of the season when they went down to Jacksonville and so forth. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, he was in a good position, but it may be something wrong with Carson Wentz, though.
Yeah, but here's my thing about it, and I understand what you're saying. But the object is that's it. All the interceptions when he makes interceptions when it matters.
7 times ain't bad, though.
And they said he wasn't happy. The biggest problem he had in Philadelphia when not Kirk Cousins, but Nick Folk took over. He wasn't supportive of it. He was pouting.
Well, he was a franchise quarterback, though. He's the first player taken.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he was injured, right?
Yeah.
He was injured. And I think he's a little bit of a me guy. He's
I can see that.
A more talented Cousins. I just think of it just watching him.
Yeah.
There because of things that he's done. It ain't team first. And some of the great quarterbacks, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is probably a me guy, but he's such a great player that he can get away with it. And
Yeah.
the players love him up there. But it doesn't seem like a lot of players love Carson Wentz.
Well, he still got to prove stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot left on the table for him to try to accomplish. So
yeah,
that's the deal.
Okay, let's go over to the Eagles. Hassan Reddick, which is a good pick. I think Hassan Reddick had a good year last year, 10.5 sacks, and I think that's a good pickup for the Eagles.
They need some linebackers. Yeah, they need a little bit more. That's good.
Yeah, now we'll go over to the Cowboys. Michael Gallup, who might not play at the beginning of the season. They gave him $57.5 million over 5 years.
Well, that just goes to show you what they think of him. They really like him.
I like him a lot.
Yeah,
I like him too. DeMarcus Lawrence, which is interesting because DeMarcus is a little bit older. They gave him 3 years, $40 million.
Yeah.
And Malik Hooker, they gave another one $8 million. But I do not think the Cowboys are as talented as they were last year. I think they let some of their more talented players leave.
Okay.
I just think they're going to have some issues because they're going to have to depend on offensive line. They're going to have to depend on because they're going to get rid of Larrell Collins.
What about Connor Williams? Is he still over there?
No, he went to the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
A 2-year contract. But I just think that they're going to have to put in people that might not be ready.
Right.
That's the problem. And that's the thing. So we'll see what happens with them.
Right.
I just think the Cowboys are going to have some issues because we're going to find out how good Dak is. Is he another Romo, or can he take that team to another level?
We're going to find out.
And it's very seldom do we see running backs go. We saw it with Savion. What is it? The running back for the Giants.
Oh, Saquon Barkley?
Saquon Barkley. Once they get injured, they start going downhill quicker than any other position.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys have that with Zeke, and its money's guaranteed. Now the Giants are trying to get rid of Barkley.
Well, I can tell you this. I ain't never seen a running back with a knee brace on have success in the National Football League.
That's right.
So,
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Zeke and we'll see what the Giants do too, because the Giants have been actually quiet.
They've been real quiet.
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, they've been quiet.
Which I think was a good move.
And Ingram, they traded him.
Yeah, they traded him to Jacksonville.
Yeah, so.
And then some guys are throwing a party because they traded Evan. But if he goes there and be an all-pro, everybody's going to say, why did we let him go? Because he is young.
Yeah, he's young. He's talented too. So.
Yeah.
Might sometimes just going to another whole locker room can help. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But I think right now, I don't know who's going to win the East.
We signed an offensive lineman. What, Mark Gorlowski? Gorlowski. And so that should help. That he's a good lineman.
Yeah. But I just don't know who's going to win the East because nobody is standing out in the NFC East. We always talk about because both of us played there. But right now, I would say Philly is probably looking the best.
Well, I'm going to tell you now, we know that nobody had won it back-to-back. So the Cowboys won it last year. So I'm going with the Eagles, the Commandos, or the Giants. I'm
not going with the Commandos. I'm not going with the Commandos. I think the Giants could get better I think the Eagles are the odds-on favorite right now, but
I think the Cowboys might be though. They might can do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Daniel Jones, he's 12-25 in the last 3 years. So 12-25.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
It's that time. Boy, this time is quick.
Well, we didn't talk about no March Madness. I got my teams lined up.
I do too. Ooh. Who you got?
I think I like Purdue.
No.
I'm just joking.
Kentucky.
I'm just joking with you.
All right. Hey, this is a victory formation. We got to go.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to see if I can get my dance going this year.
I got to get my March Madness dance. I got to get my March Madness. Hey,
I might even go fishing.
There you go. There you go. All right.
I don't think Matt knows nothing about no fishing. I don't think Matt.
All right.